This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, a planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Today I'm going to show you guys how fast, or not so fast, the KGM Musso EV is charging. It's a pickup truck, quite affordable, quite spacious. It's actually, I would say, it's the poor man's pickup truck because it costs a lot less than the Maxus e-Terra 9, especially the Ford F-150 Lightning. But then how well does it perform charging-wise compared to the more expensive ones? Well, let's find out. So yeah, most of these are LFP except for the F-150 that uses NMC. And you will see something weird here because in the Musso, it has a quite slow ramp-up compared to the other cars. And then, is it because of Colgate? No, because I preheated, and then when I click on preheating, it wouldn't preheat more, so the battery was warm enough on the Musso, 20-something degrees Celsius. But here you have that weird ramp-up where the Musso goes faster and faster and faster. I was like, huh? It's supposed to support only 120 kilowatt according to the spec. Well, but it has this nice ramp up here, and look at that. It actually goes way faster than spec. That was simply amazing. But then it will peak 160 briefly and then drop to 122, and then it stays there. And when I did the 1,000 kilometer challenge, spoiler alert, I did get that boost the very first charging session, but then for the remaining 6 following starting session, meaning 7 total, I did never see that boost anymore. So it seems like it's just a one-time boost. Yeah, which was very nice because it seems like it shaved off, I'm not sure how many minutes, could possibly be 1 to 2 minutes to the charging session. Yeah, but that's just how it is. But okay, I mean, how many is gonna drive 1,000 kilometers with a pickup truck? Well, I guess if you only have one session then per day, right, then you actually can enjoy that boost. I would assume that it resets. Or I haven't tested if it resets if you plug into AC charging, but what I've seen from other cars that has some kind of boost or throttling, like the Toyota BZ4X and BMW i4, i5, then plugging into AC doesn't do anything to reset the timer. It's just an internal timer counting DC versus time and so on. Well, okay, anyway, we've been talking a little bit, but you'll see that which car is leading? Actually, the old Torres is leading. It has the smallest battery also, but the old Torres has a nice curve, but F-150 was charging the fastest. E-Terra also has a fairly flat curve, but actually right now the Musso and F-150, they are really neck on neck. But of course, keep in mind that the F-150 has a bigger battery, but this is also the poor man's F-150. There was also that Lariat version with 130 kilowatt hour, but that is grey import for some reason. Ford officially in Norway, they only import a small battery, maybe because the Lariat is too expensive. But the ones you've been seeing at Elbilmek, Valdemar, they are the grey import, parallel import Lariat with 130. Maybe I should borrow that one day and test how it performs, right? But okay, back to here, back to the charging session again. Musso is actually keeping up with the F-150, at least in terms of state of charge, yeah. In real world, okay, that's a different story, but still, you know, just to give you an idea of how these cars are charging and how long it takes to go to, let's say, 80%. But it seems that the Torres is going to be fastest to 80%. But yeah, the Toyota supposedly has the previous generation battery, and then Musso has the bigger battery. And I wonder if the new Toyota also gets the bigger battery. There, 80% Toyota, so Toyota 1 to 80%. But now we can see what happened with the other cars. Actually, the e-Terra 9 is the slowest, but also keep in mind it's the biggest battery. So in terms of 1,000 kilometer challenge, the e-Terra was the fastest. Yeah. So you can't only look at the battery size, but we also have to look at efficiency, because actually the Musso, as far as I have measured it, is also the most efficient, but also the smallest here. So the F-150 is the biggest, and then e-Terra is the second biggest, and Musso and yeah, they are kind of similar. Actually, I just remember now, I didn't include the last pickup, which is the ET90, but that charges so slow, so we don't care about that. I just want to compare Musso against Toyota, since they are the same, basically the same car. But past 80% down, all the cars start charging quite slow, actually, except for the e-Terra 9. Oh, the e-Terra 9 might take a little comeback here, because right now, okay, Toyota seems to be on a good run to go to 90%, especially because it has the smallest battery. But the F-150 is gaining on quite fast now. But is this going to be enough, though? It seems like like, oh yeah, and there was the Musso, for some reason, it bugs from time, actually quite often, and then all the values, they freeze, and then I have to restart and reconnect, and then we are back again. So the Musso was freezing a bit, but the Musso was actually not that far behind the F-150, but the Torres, it seems to hit 90% first here, very close now, but it goes quite slow towards the end. But now towards the end, you also see the e-Niro 9. No, sorry, yeah, e-Niro 9 starts gaining on the other cars. Wow, there, okay, Torres 1 to 90%, it's double win, 80%, 90%, but F-150 is right behind it, almost hitting 90% behind the Torres. But what about the e-Niro 9? Suddenly the e-Niro 9 is coming in fast, despite that it has a bigger battery charge, it's almost twice as fast as the other cars. Very impressive, but seems like it won't be enough, because F-150 is about to hit 90% there, and then Musso right behind it, right? Kind of. They almost they finished roughly at the same time. Okay, and you see this took 54 minutes. You can see on the timer on the Ioniq there. Yeah, okay. So these are quite slow charging cars. And if you look at the charging curve here, you see that Musso EV has this ramp up, really slow ramp up compared to many other cars. And then it actually goes higher than anything else here. And when I saw that during the charging test, I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then, oh, 9. And then it actually goes lower. No, I don't know, it kind of follows. Yeah, okay. It follows the Torres, but here it goes slower than Torres even. Huh? So that was a bit disappointing. I would expect that the bigger battery would charge faster, but no. And then, okay, F-150 Lightning is the fastest charging. Slightly disappointing that the e-Niro 9 couldn't charge that fast, even though it was the biggest battery. So, well, what you guys see here is quite slow. If I would include some other cars, for example, it doesn't have to be that expensive here. You know, we're not talking about Porsche Cayenne or Taycan or something like an MG IM5, IM6. That's 100 kilowatt hour battery, and they charge at almost 400 kilowatt. Or Xpeng, for example, G6, right, or G9. Would be great if we can have those way faster charging batteries in a pickup truck, because needless to say, I tested the pickup trucks. They are thirsty by nature. People have been talking about that Tesla's Cybertruck is thirsty. But you know, I think, okay, Cybertruck might appear to be thirsty compared to the other Teslas maybe, or even other passenger cars, or, you know, like, let's say something big and efficient like an ID.7, right? Is actually quite efficient despite its size. But it's just the fact that pickup trucks, they just seem to be thirsty by nature because they have the shape and so on. But that sloping back end on the Cybertruck could make it way more efficient than whatever I tested now lately. Similar actually to that, this Model X is a quite spacious car. It comes in 6 and 7 seater. This just happened to be the 5-seater. And then compared to the other 7-seaters, they tend to be thirsty, especially at high speed. But Tesla managed to make a quite spacious car and still make it efficient, you know. So it would be interesting to actually test the Cybertruck. Now I've been testing some of these other pickup trucks, and suddenly I want to test Cybertruck. I want to know how good it is, you know. Yeah, I actually asked the grey importer in Norway about this to borrow it, but I guess they are not into letting me borrow it for a week, so I can do 1,000 kilometer challenge and some other stuff. So for now, the Cybertruck is just a big unknown until I go to US maybe, or I could borrow some of those grey import that they have in, not sure where it was, Czech Republic or somewhere, right? Or wait, or was it Croatia? Okay, anyway, maybe we have to go to the Western European. No, I mean the Central Europeans. Very important to not mix up. No, it's not Western. Eastern European. You don't want to call the Central European Eastern Europeans. They don't like that. No. But okay, we'll see. But for now, Cybertruck is weiß nicht. So that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.